Hi guys, I just wanted to share a little bit of information. So about 2 years ago, I read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And like a lot of books, read it. It was all right. It was all right. A few things stuck out, but didn't really think much of it. I tend to do that with a lot of books, and then I come around to reading it a second time, and I'm like, did I actually read this? So I came to reading this a second time at the start of this year. Started it at the 1st of January. I am not the same person since I finished this book as what I was when I started it. It is incredible. I can hand on heart say that when I finished this book, it has made me a better parent, a better wife, a better friend, and a better leader for my team, and better as a consultant in my job. This book has been the most influential, powerful book I have read to date. Honestly, I am not exaggerating. I cannot believe I read this a couple of years ago and didn't feel as moved as what I have now reading it again. So the title is a little bit cringy. I felt it was a couple of years ago. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was like, I don't need to win friends. I don't want to influence people. And I think that kind of put me off a little bit in the beginning. But now I've read it, I get it. It's not about manipulation. It's about being the best person that you can be. And if you are the best parent that you can be, your children are going to like you, for one, and you're going to influence them in a good way. And that's exactly what this book has done. So it's split into 4 parts. So you've got part 1, the part 1 there. And part 1 is about, let me just go back here, the techniques in handling people. So part 1 is the fundamental techniques in how to handle people. And in part, it's only 4 parts, by the way. So in part 1, you've got 3 principles. So there's just 3 principles in part 1. Okay. So the 3 principles in part 1 that it goes through, it's got stories for each one. So this is just part 1 at the minute of 4 parts. So part 1, principle 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Now, the stories that it tells you links to each of these principles, and you get it, you read it and you get it, you just absolutely get it, and you're like, this is something I should have read as like a teenager. It's fantastic. Principle 2, give honest and sincere appreciation. Yeah. Principle 3, tailor what you say to what people want for themselves for their benefit. So, or otherwise it says, arouse in the other person eager wants. So find out what people want, listen to what people want. So that is part 1 in a nutshell, part 1. Great. Right, part 2. So again, just emphasize there's only 4 parts. So part 2 is 6 ways to make people like you. Now, again, that sounds really manipulative, doesn't it? It's not like that at all. Honestly, that the thought of like making people like me is not part of my values, my ethics, me as a person. But it is just it's just got 6 nice ways to just make you a better person. So those 6 principles are: number 1, become genuinely interested in other people. Number 2, smile. Number 3, say people's names. Number 4, be a good listener and encourage people to talk about themselves. Number 5, talk about others' interests. Number 6, make the other person feel important. So that is part 2. And again, absolutely loved it. And one of the things that I did was at each chapter, because when I read this book, I also listened to the audio at the same time. So while I was reading, I was also listening to the audio, and it just really helped me concentrate because I'm not the best reader in the world. So at each chapter I wrote down what disc the audio was. So this one is disc 3, 39 minutes is the start of this chapter. I didn't buy the audio. It's free on SoundCloud. So if you want to do the same as me, it's free on SoundCloud. I think there's like 8 discs in total, and they're all on SoundCloud, so you can find them. Right, so that's part 2. Okay, part 3. Okay, part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. So there are 12 principles in this part. So this is the biggest part to the book. So the first one is avoid arguments. Second one, show respect for others' opinions and never say you are wrong to people. Number 3, if you are wrong, admit it. Number 4, begin in a friendly way. Number 5, get the other person saying yes, yes, yes. And there's a great bit about body language in here. If people are saying yes, 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 their body language is much better than if they're saying no to things, no to things, no to things. Number 6, let the other person talk more. Number 7, let the other person think it's their idea. Number 8, see other people's points of view. Number 9, be sympathetic to others' thoughts and ideas. Number 10, appeal to noble motives, so being humble and kind motives. Number 11, dramatize your ideas, so think big. And number 12, throw down a challenge. And if you've got children, this book is what you need for some parenting tips. Not that I'm suggesting anyone needs parenting tips, but it definitely helped me massively in fights with brushing teeth, different arguments. It really helped to think of ways to get your children to do things without it being an argument. Yeah, it's incredible. Right, and the last part, so part number 4, be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing any resentment. So there was 9 principles in part 4, and the 9 principles were: number 1, begin with praise and appreciation. Number 2, call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Number 3, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others. Number 4, ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Number 5, let the other person save face, so don't let them be embarrassed. Number 6, praise improvement. Number 7, give others a fine reputation to live up to. Number 8, use encouragement, make the fault seem easy to correct. And the last one, number 9, make the other person happy to do the things that you suggest. So then what I also did is I didn't just read it, I studied this book. So I made notes. I don't know if you can see in there. So I underlined, I made notes, I circled bits, I highlighted bits, I starred bits. I'll give you an example there. And I really understood the book that I was reading. I didn't just read it this time like I did a few years ago. I completely understood it. So I will be leaving this in my car and reading a chapter every now and again. I will also be re-listening to the audio. What I've done on my phone is I've got a little folder in my phone called Dale Carnegie, and what I did was I went onto Google and found a summary of this book, and I opened up the summary of the book and put it into Safari. And then when you've got something open in Safari, you can save it as like an app on your phone. So you can save that link directly onto your phone. So that is directly on my phone. And also in that folder is the audio. So in that folder is the audio. So when I click on SoundCloud, it takes me directly to the audio of this. There's all the CDs there of this book. So I've got that folder directly in my phone. So under Dale Carnegie, it's there straight away, so it's easy for me to find. So I massively recommend that everybody reads this book. It makes you a better friend, it makes you a better person, a better parent, and it's definitely made a massive difference in me and my business. So I recently went through a big slump in my business, and I've come out of it because of this book. This book has enabled me to really grow not just my business, but better friendships, better parenting techniques, and better as a wife. Thanks, Ian. So I hugely recommend everybody gets this book and reads it. So if you're like me and you can't really read stuff properly, read it once, and then the second time read it with the audio on and make notes and really digest it and study it. So yeah, that's my book review from How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.